Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Episode 2, Talking Martelli.
We finally made it to episode 2.
Had a great time last week, by the way. If you missed it, you missed out.
You really
Tony
did.
Pasco was an absolute treat. So I'm going to take just a minute, give some announcements, and then Brian's going to welcome our guests. So usually we have the guests for segment 2 and segment 3, but we have such a special guest today.
Yeah, it's a pretty big one, I would say.
We're going to do it just for a little bit longer, and the treat's going to be all yours, I promise, because we are going to show something that has not been shown before. It is in the sewing and quilting industry. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our giveaway and what we're going to do at the very end. But a couple announcements. Maria Powers has a class going on at W Street. I heard really good things about that over there. So
the buzz is going. The buzz is real.
Yep.
So over there, the W Street locations.
At W Street. And then the other thing that we want to do is just keep in mind that, what is it? Oh, when we have upcoming classes, you always want to pay attention because we have some great speakers. I know Val has got some really good speakers coming up in the near future at W Street. So you just always want to be paying attention to that. Also, fabric sale tomorrow from 1 p.m.
It's not tomorrow. It's Wednesday, bud.
Sorry.
We've been doing this for a minute.
I know.
So,
Thursday.
This is how scripted we are.
Backwoods country rednecks, we are bad. Thursday, 1 to 7, fabric sale, Martelli Enterprises main Facebook
That's
page.
right, Martelli Fabric Live.
Yes, and then we also have a guild coming in tomorrow.
Oh,
in our
yes.
storefront. That's why I got confused. Now, speaking of guilds, we still do a lot in the sewing and quilting. That's 99% of what we do. So if you want to set up a guild meeting, Brian, how can they do that?
They can call up here at the storefront, or you can call me directly, 850-232-3714. You can call me. We'll get that set up, I promise you. And it's a lot of fun. We've got about 10 or 15, up to 20 or so
signed up.
coming in tomorrow. We're going to do some private demonstrations for them. It's going to be awesome.
And it fills up quick. We already have probably about 10 or 15 guilds already signed up.
Yeah, so it goes quick because there's only a certain day that we can do it.
Yeah, and rest assured, you don't have to be a guild. If you get a group of 6 or 7 ladies or gentlemen and you just want to come in and spend the day with Martelli, we would absolutely love to have you.
Absolutely. So on that type of thing, on the storefront and the sewing quilting side, we'd love to have you. It's a lot of fun. We give you your special deals and it'll be amazing.
Yep. So two more things I want to talk, actually 3 more things. The open house. We have open house here at the Martelli storefront the last weekend in June.
Write
that down. Set your timer.
So
put it on your calendar.
I should be there?
Brian needs to be there. Okay. Make sure you call him 2 or 3 times to remind him.
Put it on my own watch.
Yes.
Done.
Make sure you do that. Now, May 1st, season 1 on PureFlix. Being Martelli. Being Martelli is a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen. That is a reality TV show that you will not be able to get enough of. You will be able to live stream that, and you will enjoy that very much.
If you watched the first episode 1, I'm sure you did, you got a little bit of an announcement on that. So PureFlix is holding it, and that is going to be awesome. You'll be able to watch the first season as well. So
stream it the whole season.
You'll be able to watch it in its entirety.
Binge watch like Dave binge watches. Dave binge watches.
Dave binges.
Ain't that right, Dave? Binges. All right. Last but not least, we want to thank Miss Roxanne Perez. She gave me permission, and we're going to show this again on the fabric sale, but she gave me permission to read her sweet letter. David and Brian, hey y'all from Oregon, I sent you a little gift I made you since you are both on diets, which Brian's broken 10 times in the last week, and didn't think sweets would survive the trip. I am sure you will know who gets which one.
Yes.
I chose the wine because it's from a vineyard here in Oregon, and by the name Rascal, it reminded me of you two. Also, they are being for the Humane Society, and I know you're familiar in that area with your charitable gifts. So, Miss Roxanne Perez, we love you. We sure do appreciate you, and that is awesome.
This is one of the templates you will see, I promise you, on the Fabric Live sale. We're going to include one of these, and this is what I love this one so much. But Roxanne, we can't thank you enough, darling. You are amazing.
Always
and
a treat.
Always a treat, and always great when y'all send us stuff, so keep sending them.
I mean, who gets to say that they love their job every single day,
every
hour of every day?
I absolutely do.
Okay.
I mean, we get to cut up 2 days a week.
Speaking of loving
and then
your job.
The rest is...
Speaking of loving your job, I don't know who out there in the world has had an experience to be able to work with your family. It has its ups and downs for sure.
Yeah, this is a good one.
But at the end of the day, for me personally, and I know our staff is like family too. We're one big giant family, and at the end of the day, it's an awesome feeling to go home, knowing that you love everybody you work for. So
Yes.
there's a wide variety of people here. We have the storefront. We have W Street. And W Street has a lot of hardworking people down there.
Absolutely.
They put
it does it all works together in one
lot of shipping.
awesome locomotion.
Yep. Sales. Yep. Website. MartelliNotions.com. Many of you watching, I'm sure, are already familiar with that. If you're not, MartelliNotions.com. That's where you can get a lot of the stuff that's from the manufacturing facility. So just know there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Now, with all that being said, Brian, why don't you introduce our guest today?
I forgot his name. Well, let me see. Oh, here it is.
It starts with...
It starts with an M.
Nope. It starts with Lop.
Lop.
Starts with Mop.
Rhymes
with Mop.
Goes with Pop.
Pop!
Yes.
All right.
So here we're going to introduce this guy that I got to meet a while back, but Mr. John Martelli, in his own right mind, is a absolute genius.
Brian's lying. He's never in his right mind.
Yep. I lied about that, but when the boss is in, you fluff the pillow, bud.
There you
That's
go.
all you
Smart
need.
thinking.
Gosh. So I got to see some of his things that he's done over the years, and it never ceases to amaze me. We're going to get you set up here, Mr. John. It never ceases to amaze me what goes on with what you do and everything that you do.
We're going to take just a second to adjust this mic. If you can't see his face, well, consider it a blessing. No, I'm just kidding.
I agree.
And how did you raise this?
What is this, a delay?
Yeah. Hey, Dad's new to this, so we're gonna give him a little slack.
Oh, there I am.
There's a little
And I'm
delay.
not
So
even
everybody, by the way, this is David's father,
The man,
Val's
the
father,
myth, the
man,
legend,
the myth,
John
the legend, Mr. John
Martelli.
Martelli. Welcome here, bud.
You
Welcome
guys
to Talking
You
Martelli.
guys are
This
backwards.
is how we do it around here, man. We do the hook thing. Welcome, Dad.
My
Squeeze-
right arm is
oh,
dead.
Sorry, well
No,
then
it
you
doesn't
didn't feel it. So
So we gotta
All
get
right,
this
we got the
right.
camera
I
guy
know,
in here.
I know.
we can move this for a second while he talks. If you
No,
want.
no, we're
Nope.
gonna reveal
Down
that.
further, Jim.
Okay, gotcha.
Down further.
Down further.
Angle it further down.
Promise
There we
you.
go.
All right,
Is that good?
Can we
We
cut
got
this
a million
out?
more.
got
All
it.
right, cool. All right, Brian, I'm gonna let you start him off with a few questions, and then I have a couple questions.
Okay,
I
so
wanna ask.
I mean, well, like I told earlier, so for those that are out there, I know who you are. Obviously, I know David definitely knows who you are. For those that are out there, we went over this last week with Tony Pasco and how things came together. How did this come together? How do you get to Pensacola? That's what I want to know. I know the story. A lot of people don't know the story. You're not from this area.
No. We've been here 30,
87.
35,
So
or whatever.
87, 97, 07, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 35 years?
So 30. So you might as well be, but it started where?
We've lived in Pensacola longer than we've lived anywhere,
Yeah.
you know. But the way it started was we had a Christian school up in Massachusetts, and David went to it, and Valerie
Obviously.
went to it, and as time went on, I knew I needed more education myself to be able to deal better with a Christian school.
Correct.
So at that point, we were having trouble with our kids, not big trouble, but little things. And I recognized right away that my kids were far more important than the church. So my wife and I made a conscious decision to move down here, get our family back together, keep them from fighting and arguing, and all the problems go with PK, preacher's kids.
No.
And that's how we get down
Oh,
here.
man, I was a perfect preacher's kid.
I can
You
tell,
kidding me?
yeah.
Never was in trouble. Ever.
Perfectly aggravating.
I have a
Watching
birthday
out for
in
lightning as we
in
speak right
Arizona.
now.
Waterfront property in Arizona.
Yeah, there's
so you
yeah.
can believe that one.
Let's go.
That is so distracting.
Don't look at it. Don't look at you. By the way, y'all don't
That's
understand. Y'all don't know this. There's a TV in front of us, so we can kind of monitor and watch ourselves. And so there is a small delay in front of us, but we like to read the comments that are up here. So,
Yes.
It's weird. It's a strange.
Mr. John's not used to that.
So I'm not
he's
gonna look over
he's
there.
in his office making stuff on a computer, so this is a little bit different for him. So
It
anyways,
is.
Go ahead, Dad.
Go ahead. So, all right,
So that's how we got here.
you bring them here, bring the family here.
Yeah.
How does So you start a business,
Yeah.
right? You start many businesses, though.
Well, the way we were involved in printing. And
Correct.
my wife wanted to put me through seminary, so she was helping me pay for it by with this printing company. And as I was printing and helping her, she'd do the typesetting, she'd make the mistakes, and I'd print the mistakes, and then we'd have to do it again. But I would invent things that made my job easier on a printing press.
So that's where the innovations kind of started.
Well, that's where I recognized I had the innovation ability.
Right.
And there were, I ended up making this contraption that would put emery cloth on these little round discs because I invented a sharpener that sharpened the round razor blades. Remember that one, Dave?
Yeah, 1998.
So you put the blade inside these two little sandwiches and you sharpen it like that. So, and we started selling those things, and it was a huge deal. I mean, we sold a ton of them. But what happened was my mother-in-law came to me one day and she says, my round razor blade goes dull in the middle of the night, and I need to be able to sharpen it.
She was actually making curtains for the printing business, not to cut you off, but that's how it originally got started.
So she was making curtains for the business,
Yep.
And
her
she
blade
was-
kept going dull
Yeah.
because it's curtains; they're thick.
And she quit interrupting. No, my mother-in-law was making curtains for us, and she was also making stuff she saw, the things that I was inventing. And she says, "Why can't you make something that'll sharpen these razor blades?" And I said, "Well, let me see it." I said, "Graham, that's round." She said, "Yeah." I said, I don't think that'll be a problem. And I had this little drill press out in the back room, so I left my printing for about 2 or 3 hours, and I went out in the back room and I cut a hole with a whole keyhole saw and whatever. And I came back with this sharpener that sharpened round razor blades, and it worked really, really good. So Graham says, "When are we going to sell these?" I said, "You kidding me? I don't know anybody that sews except you. You don't sew quilts. In fact, the two of us don't know anybody who knows quilting." So she said, about a year went by, or some period of time went by. She came to me one day and she says, "John, when are we going to start selling these?" I said, "Graham, how many quilters are there in the United States? What are we going to sell, 5 or 10 a year, 100 a year, maybe
Wow.
1,000? She says, "Look at this," because she knew what I was going to say. So she brings in a magazine, and on the last page there was a survey. And at that time there were 18 million avid quilters. Now an avid quilter is someone who makes a quilt a week.
Wow.
So we're not talking about all quilters, we're just talking about avid. Now there's 29 million quilters, avid quilters.
Unbelievable.
So that number has jumped way
Well,
up.
Small, not to interrupt you, sorry, but just one small
Get on
minor
there, John.
detail. It's oh, he gets on me all the time. One small minor detail is quilts per month, not a week. But go ahead, Dad, sorry. 'Cause
Well,
that's-
whatever it was.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was a huge number.
Yeah, it was huge, monstrous.
So, anyway, she showed me that, and I said, well, maybe we can do something. So everybody hawked their cars, they hawked their credit cards a full amount, and we just bought the molds, and I designed the molds, and I didn't know SolidWorks at that time, so I was depending on somebody else. Luckily for us, it was a simple mold, and we started selling. Now, the first year, my mother-in-law, Grammy T, she's the one that went and got our first big customer, and we sold 40,000 of them the first year.
40,000.
40,000.
So you thought maybe 5 to 10 people, and then you
Maybe
just didn't know that we.
1,000,
I mean,
yeah.
well, you think that when I started here, I knew the business. I didn't. It's incredible what the sewing quilting industry is.
And you know, about I got to say this, 99.9% of the women that are in the quilting industry, and they do all kinds of quilting, they're the nicest people you'll
They're
ever
very
want to meet. I mean, I
Salt
go
of
to
the earth.
trade shows, to this day, they're still asking where I am.
Yeah, they are.
And there's one thing about that too. There was a lady, Miss Lynn, her house just got on fire. I've had so
Yes.
many people reaching out to me. What can I do? What can we do to help? Can we start a GoFundMe? You know, so I'm like, well, yeah, you organize it and, you know, we'll get it going. But to answer your question, the best people in the world you will ever want to meet, hands down. And you are right. To this day, the reps will still come back and say stuff like, man, they were asking about your dad. They were asking about your dad, or they're asking about
All
your
the
mom.
time.
Yeah.
And,
All the time.
And avid quilters never go away, and they never forget anything either.
They don't.
In fact, they've touched my heart in more than one way. I got wounded in Vietnam. I had a couple of Purple Hearts, and they made me blankets, quilts, you know, with
Yeah, I wanted to get
with
into
nice,
that, too.
Nice, beautiful looking quilts with nice sayings on them. Really, you know, moved me greatly.
They know how to touch. You know, they make art, right?
Mm-hmm.
And their art is just that. It's an art piece, but it's a memory piece
Yes,
as well.
yeah.
So you'll never forget it, and they'll never forget giving it to you as well.
I think I've got like 3 or 4 of
Yeah.
those quilts. You know, some were for one thing, some for another, but
He still has his watch from the date and second and time that he was blown to smithereens. He had his watch on. His watch was broke,
you
shattered.
kidding?
There's blood all in it, and it shows you the time, second, and date that he got blown up.
you know, it was Friday. It was December, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Are you?
And
Yeah,
it was like 20
1 in
minutes
the morning
after
or
12.
something.
20
Yeah,
minutes,
something like
20 minutes and 20 seconds after 12.
Are
on
you?
Friday
That is
13th.
incredible.
Yeah, it was,
Dad, did you want to talk about now? Because I'm sure there's people, and out there watching, please let us know in the
Yeah.
comment section. Do you want to hear about Dad's experience in Nam? I'm sure you do. I've had many people say, you know, have your dad talk about, you know, Vietnam. And we do want to get directs for sure. I know we just
Oh,
went
yeah.
through yeah, I'm going to say, I am going to include myself in that because I've never seen, I'm 45 years old. I've never seen my dad cry. So
Yeah.
we'll get into that too. But
Amy Zellers is saying, tell us about your medical inventions and other non-quilting inventions like helicopter stuff.
yeah, we'll definitely get to that. You want to touch on that
Later.
first? You want to touch on that
I don't
first?
care what we do.
Okay, let's. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, everybody watching, you're the boss. So if that's what you
That's
want to
the
see,
yeah. That's
Amy
that.
Zellers.
We
I'm
made
telling
this
you.
for y'all.
Yeah,
so.
let's do that, Dad. Let's talk about. Let's start on your. And you have so much to cover. So
I mean-
try to do it as vague as possible, but with as much detail as possible, if that's possible. But don't count the possibles. Just do it if it's possible.
Sounds impossible.
Take a long time.
Helicopter.
Eric.
Yeah, take a long time to.
Could you possibly hurry up?
Helicopter. Let's touch on the helicopter and then on the knee brace. I don't know how much information he can give,
Helicopter?
and-
Like I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is when we were in high school.
Are
Yeah.
you kidding
This
me?
is a whole nother awesome story. Go ahead, Dad, with the helicopter.
All right, you got to. I don't know this.
I don't know how I got into it, but I think there was a gentleman that we knew. He was an acquaintance, and he called me up one day. He says, "What do you know about helicopters?" I said, "Well, I flew in them quite a bit in Vietnam, but I don't know a whole lot about them." He said, "Do you know what the problems are with them?" And I said, "Yeah, basically the transmissions. They have planetary gears inside of them, and they whip around so fast they wear out quickly." So he says, "Do you think you can do anything about that? You know anybody who could do something about it?" And he was a guy that wanted to get involved in it because it's big money.
Right.
So I designed what I called a passive transmission on a helicopter, and the thing, I actually built a prototype out of balsa wood. And if anybody knows anything about helicopters, a helicopter has a 1-to-2 ratio of lift. However much the helicopter weighs, it'll lift twice that.
Okay.
But that's it, and that's not a lot.
See, I know zero about
And then-
helicopters. So.
And they have heavy lift helicopters that do more than that. But the prototype that I made was an 8-to-1 ratio. And I made the blades out of balsa wood, so they didn't even have a correct pitch on it. And I think the long and the short of it is, we got invited by this guy up to, where's the school? I can't even remember.
Emory Riddle, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and we had to get passes to get on there. We had to go through,
Right.
through
Security, all that stuff.
yeah, and we had to have our character checked, you know, were we agents or whatever. And so we did all of that. We went to Emory Riddle up there, and I left the device with him, which was a big mistake.
Wow.
And we didn't sign any non-comps, non-disclosures.
Oh no.
And we never got back on. We never talked to anybody. We made phone calls to go back and all that. And Valerie is watching TV at a trade show once, and she said, "Dad, you got to turn the TV on. It's on there." I said, "What?" She says, "Your device is on a helicopter, on whatever channel." I don't remember. You remember what it was?
Well, I know it was on the cover of Popular Mechanics,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's the same thing that you're talking
So-
about. Because I didn't know about
But
that.
we were watching this on TV.
Okay, so there was 2 episodes
Yeah.
then.
And it
Go
was,
ahead.
and I saw it. I couldn't believe it. But you know how much that would have cost to fight that?
You don't fight the
You
government.
can't.
You don't
There's
fight
no
the
way.
government.
Yeah, and we had a patent started on it, but
That
I've
makes
learned
that's
a lot
a little
about
sad.
patents.
I mean, that's because you spent, you know, you took the time. You're a nom. You go overseas. You get blown up, and for it to kind of turn full circle on that's not
Hey,
right.
Thank you for your service. Can I borrow that patent, please?
Absolutely. Thank you for everything you've done. So, thank you for
Well,
your Purple Hearts and all
you know,
that stuff. But hey,
Yeah. Thanks
thanks for letting us steal it.
Yeah, pretty
It
much.
was weird. And in those days,
Not right.
I was a lot like Dave is now. In those days, I was kind of like, this is mine, well, how dare you steal it? You know, and I was very tenacious about it. But, you know, I put it aside, I forgot about it, and that was fine. I don't care.
Had they not stolen it, we would not be in this conversation right now, today, in this very room, in this very spot, because we wouldn't be in the quilting business.
Yeah.
So-
So, all that.
So
It's a
That
blessing.
all-
in
it is,
disguise.
it's a blessing. I know you'd probably be president of the United States right now. It's probably why.
You couldn't
Many-
give me that job.
Many people, by the way, I'm seeing on here, thank you, Mr. John, for your service. Thank you for your service. So everybody's letting you know, thank you. All right, so
Knee
there.
brace, you want to hear about that?
Okay,
next?
yeah, so we're gonna go
Okay.
from the helicopter to the knee brace, and then we're gonna see if we can't get a quick testimony of Nam. So, okay, so there's the helicopter in a nutshell. Go ahead with the knee brace, Bob.
Okay. I got back from a, let's shut that thing on. I was making business trips overseas, and I got back from one of them, and my neck was hurting so bad because I sat 14 hours in one position. I never got up. It was a stupid mistake, and my neck was hurting so bad that I went right from the plane to the emergency room, and they took x-rays, and they were lousy x-rays that whoever took them didn't really realize if you got a bad neck, you don't just take an x-ray. I mean, you take x-rays.
You
and
take an
down
all
and
It's like your
angles.
teeth, like your
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah.
It's you got to get a 3D dimension. So it went on, and now I'm starting to take pain pills, and and I'm getting addicted to these pain pills, and if you
'Cause
ever
it's the
try
only
to
thing
get off
relieving
a
you.
hydrocodone, it's like almost
Ugh.
impossible. So I got
Yeah, we talked about that the
addicted
other day, the
3 times.
hydrocodone.
Yeah,
It's-
I got addicted 3 or 4 times, got off them 3 or 4 times. The pain was so great, I'd get back on, whatever. So finally, we went to a neurosurgeon, I guess it was, and he kind of looked at me and he says, we gotta find out what's going on. So he referred me to some guys that are into bones, not just chiropractors, but chiropractors that know all about the bones and the structure. And he took the proper x-rays. He says, you've got so much arthritis in your neck, it's a wonder you're moving. Now, when you get addicted to pain pills, and you've got a wife who despises that stuff,
Right.
there's conflict. Remember that, Dave? Remember
Oh,
those
yeah,
days?
yeah.
But I mean, she was so beautiful and wonderful about the whole thing. She never really ragged on me much. But you could see it in her eyes, what are
Yeah.
you doing this to yourself for? But she didn't have the pain that I had. My pain was so bad I'd throw up sometimes. But anyway, you're saying, what's that got to do with the knee brace? Well, at that time I had SolidWorks, and I knew how to use it really effectively. And I said to myself, well, when I went back to the neurosurgeon, he says, you need to be, his secretary called, said, you need to be ready for surgery tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And that was Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas. And I'm saying, you got to be joking. She says, your neck is really bad and you got serious problems and whatever. So we went over to see the neurosurgeon. He says, we're not going to do surgery tomorrow. I said, well, why? He says, you've got so many discs that are so bad that we can't fuse that many bones all at once. We just can't fuse that many. You'd be so incapacitated you'd never move again. So I said, you know what I'm going to do to myself? I'm going to
This
go
is
home.
great.
I'm going to go home and I'm going to make a disc for my neck. So I can take the discs that are in there out,
Wait.
the new
Let,
ones
let,
in.
let, let me
Wait,
say this so
hold on.
everybody can hear it. He wants to go home
Home.
and make discs for the doctor to put into his body. And by the way, folks,
That was cool.
SolidWorks is AutoCAD on steroids.
Yes, it
this
is.
This is like an 8-year degree. So I just want to tell this one part, Dad. I don't want to ruin the story.
It's okay.
But this guy sat in front of his computer, did not get up unless he had to go potty or to eat something, sat in front of the computer for 12 weeks and taught himself SolidWorks, how to draw from start to finish. That's the incredible part of the story that he probably won't even share with you, but sorry, Dad, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
That's okay. So anyway, I went home and I designed this completely articulated disc that goes into that would fit into your neck.
Mm.
Make it take that old disc out and just pop this thing in, glue the top to your vertebrae, glue the bottom to it, and it would act like a fully articulated joint. And I told the doctor about it. He says, "You know how long that would take to get? You'd be dead before that thing was authorized."
He said, "Are you nuts, man?" He goes, "You can't make it on Thursday and me put it on Friday." He said, "We're not McDonald's here."
Didn't quite
But
get that
he
way.
probably
It
saw it
was
goes,
bad.
it would work, and he knows the red tape.
Yeah. Well,
that
that's
goes
what he was
behind
talking
it.
about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I know. But he's like,
What is
"Dadgummit,
it?
I would love to
What is
use
it?
it."
Yeah.
What three-letter word is it? FAA or F something?
FDA.
Yeah. So I have to wear leg braces because of Vietnam, and my knees are really bad. So I designed a knee brace with the thing that I had going into the neck, because it worked perfect for a knee
Right.
brace. So I designed a knee brace around this fully articulated design that I had. And there hasn't been an invention in the knee brace industry in 60 years.
Years.
The only
It's a
thing I
hinge.
know about knee braces is neoprene.
Yeah,
Like, I
it's
don't
a-
know anything
it's a
other than
hinge.
that.
It's a hinge.
It is.
That's all it is.
I don't even know
Hinge
how
goes
far
like that.
into that involved we can get with it, but I do know it's getting ready to hit the market.
Yeah.
Like, when I say a month,
Just
2
be
months,
careful. Just
that's-
on the lookout on it.
Yeah, yeah. You
But-
know more about that than I do, Dad. I
Well,
don't
it's,
know what.
it's patented, but I still don't want to fully
Yep,
describe it
let's-
here.
Well, that's
but-
why I'm letting you do it. No, I'm
Yeah,
not saying
it-
anything about it.
it's fully patented, and it's been patented for quite a
Gotta
while
be
now.
amazing.
But it allows you, if you're a golfer, it would allow you to golf without restraining you or restricting your movement. That's how fluid it is.
That's amazing.
And then we had a friend of ours, Chip.
Yeah.
Yep.
He got involved, and he made it a smack brace.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
And it's got little sensors in it that talks to your telephone, and then your telephone talks to your doctor, and he finds out if you're walking right.
It actually has an app. Now,
It's pretty cool.
And I want to add this to this, Dad. And so you're thinking about golfers or professional sports, but let me tell you the advantage, and hopefully I can say this, get away with it. Because the invention is the way that it is, the reason why they were able to embed microchips in the polymer is because this is so, the way that this is designed, it is almost identical to the way the natural knee works. And what I mean by that, you have what they call a vargus and a valgus. And when you walk, your knee actually moves forward 3 millimeters, 5 millimeters of incremental motion, and it goes back and forth. So a regular knee brace does not account for that. That's why you have the muscle, the atrophy buildup. So let's say you get a bad knee injury, and well, everybody wants to put, first thing they want to do is put a knee brace on it. But the problem with that is knee braces create atrophy on the side ligaments, in which returns, it enables you to damage that knee much faster as soon as you take that knee brace off. So using the R's, you're able to heal quickly, you're able to heal the right way, and you don't have to worry about that atrophy on the side ligaments, which is huge. That's why the ortho we're working with now is like, this is incredible.
And the data.
Yeah,
And the data you receive from it.
Because it's so much like the natural knee, they can
Right.
take the data and utilize
You were
it.
telling me that you can, say a football player
Yeah.
or something that goes out there, and they go out there because of this knee brace, they can say, hey, he's not improving enough for him to be out there, let's pull him.
Correct.
Or, you know what? He's progressing just fine.
His patient
Yeah.
compliance has
But
been
it-
great. I can see when
Yep.
he's been wearing his brace. I can see, and
That's-
the great thing
that's
about it.
And they give them the data
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
able to prevent an injury.
And I'm gonna throw another little bit of tidbit and just this information too. And one of the great things about this, it enables to be able to control the rate at which you heal, because the actual knee brace where the articulation occurs, there's pieces that go in there that allow to increase the articulation or decrease the articulation, which is really, really, really important, especially during the whole after my surgery. Like if you've ever had surgery on your knees or your knees are really bad, there's a
Yeah.
process in which you need to heal. If you heal too quickly, that's not a good thing. And this is what this brace doesn't allow. It makes you heal at the rate that you're supposed to heal, and that's why that microchip and that data is so crucial.
And it sounds like also everybody's different.
yeah,
right?
yeah, of course,
So
of course.
if someone says 6 weeks is the 6 weeks, which is the norm when you go to a doctor's, hey, it's going to be 6 weeks, you got 6 week therapy and you're done. Well, this I think helps out, will give you the data. This is fantastic, by the way. to know that, you know what, you need 9 weeks, or you.
You're going to laugh at me,
Yeah.
but not only is each person different, each knee on the person is different.
So
Yeah.
the right knee isn't matching the left.
Yeah,
That's
correct,
amazing.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
and that's why you have.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, and you say, well, I has had both knee replaced. Well, why did you have both knees replaced? Well, you had them both replaced because your one was working harder to compensate for the other.
Now,
And that's
if you
just-
can make one, Mr. John, if you can make one for my dogs who have torn 4 ACLs in my house,
You know what? Will you pat me on the back? I'm really good.
So, and the other incredible thing about this as well, too, and I'm gonna give my dad props on this, is that same articulation and that invention that he has is not only good for the knee. Do you know it's also good for the ankle and for the wrist?
Yeah, your elbow.
Your ankle and your elbow.
Yeah.
So those are just other things. So when somebody looks to be able to purchase this, they're purchasing much more than a knee brace.
it's amazing. Okay,
So that was
there-
We don't- although
it's
we
an
don't
expansion.
Have, although we don't have the elbow and the ankle.
no, but it's covered under the patent, so
Yeah.
that's really good. Okay, I know we already took.
I know we went into that, but here's the thing about this: you cannot help but to expand on what's going on
Yeah,
with,
one
with this
thing
gentleman
is-
here. It can't, one story is not enough,
No. And it
and
never stops.
And
It never
15
stops,
stories.
yeah.
There's going to have to be segment 2. We're going to have to bring
Oh,
him
we'll
back
definitely-
in
we're gonna-
over
of
and
course
over
we'll
and
bring
over
him on.
again
Yeah,
because
yeah.
there's endless amount of stuff you want to go over. But speaking of, and I hate to go. What do we want to go over next?
Do we want to talk? So those are the two inventions. Hopefully, we just gave you a quick overview on those of the helicopter, and also not just of the helicopter, but also the knee brace. So if you want to add something else, but while you're thinking out there, audience, please in the comment section let me know what you want to hear Mr. John talk about. But while you're doing that, I know this has been asked of me several times. Get your
Yeah.
dad to talk about his testimony. So you haven't dove into Vietnam yet, and I don't know, for whatever reason, Dad, this I know. I'm 45 years old. I've heard the story 15 times, and I still want to hear it. So that's just a fascinating story that everybody loves. Can you take him back to Vietnam all the way from like just a quick overview of basic training all the way to how fast the bombing took place and then what happened after that and what Mom had to deal with maybe?
I don't think we have enough time for all that.
Well, you can just give the highlights. Highlights.
Well,
Cliff
you know,
Notes.
I was like everybody else except Bill Clinton. I got drafted, when he took his little trip to Canada. But anyway, I went through basic training with a lot of my friends that get drafted from the same place, the same
Yes,
for the
sir.
same reasons. And I was proud to go. My dad was proud that I was going. He was an Italian American. I'm 100% Italian.
He
And,
was a wop.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about
That's
that.
what they called him. He used to tell me stories about that. I'd be like, I'd hear him say "wop" all the time. And Gramp, what are you talking about? He goes, without papers. And I never knew that until I was about 18 years old.
Oh my
That's what
goodness!
WAP
I didn't know that
means.
till
I
right now
didn't
years
know
old.
Yeah.
until that today.
Yes.
Yep.
WAP
I was
means
today
without
years
papers.
old when I found that out.
Yes, today years
But
old.
if you said that to an Italian, he'd probably kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
didn't
a
know what that
racial
meant.
thing,
I thought
it's
it was
racial thing.
But
it sounds like a
It
slur.
doesn't
It
bother
is.
me.
Well, I
get
know
killed.
that, but that's just back in the day that it's kind of just like saying
Yeah.
anti-Semitic thing or just something that's
Right, I've
popular
never
to say.
used it because I never knew what it stood for, so I didn't even know.
Anyway, so I went through basic training. I went through advanced infantry training. I got drafted into the Army. I was infantry, and I think the infantry was really one of the coolest things in the whole world. And I was a cut up, not as much as David and you, but I was a cut up a little bit. And I've never told you this one, Dave, but I remember we were done with advanced infantry training, and we're going down. They're putting us on parade for graduation, and I'm the last guy in line on the side where all the spectators were. We're walking down, and I'm going by the spectators, and they're looking at everybody. They're looking at me, and I broke into a duck walk, pa-poom, pa-poom, pa-poom. And nobody saw it but the crowd, and they all roared, and it was absolutely hilarious. But I thought I was going to get kicked out of the Army for it.
Did you play it off well, or was it an accident, or did you?
No
do
one
on
saw
purpose?
it, so
Oh.
it worked out.
Those skips.
Yeah. Everybody's all in alignment, doing the right thing. Of course, yeah, that makes sense. But now we
anyway.
know I am the way I am.
But so anyway, I ended up going to Vietnam. So went out on a lot of what they call them, if I remember correctly, we call them eagle hops, because we would, you'd come to they discover where the enemy was, the intelligence or whoever, And we'd load up, there'd be 7 helicopters on 7 pads, and there'd be 7 guys in each helicopter. Maybe it was 6, maybe it was 8, including the pilot and the door gunner and the co-pilot. Anyway, there was like 8 or 9 people on the helicopter. And we'd take off and we'd go to wherever the action was. And we'd pull out our weapons and, and thankfully for me, I don't think I ever killed anybody over there. I mean, I shot at them, but I don't ever remember seeing it hit anybody. I'm really grateful for that.
Well, you weren't there long enough, were you? Didn't you
No.
get blown up pretty quickly?
I was there over there for 2 months, 2 weeks. What was it, 3 days, 2 hours?
Wow.
Because of my
Down to the hour.
because of my
Well,
calendar
because of your
watch.
watch. That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know to the minute how long I was there. Actually, to the second. I should have, if I knew.
Do you have it? I mean, do you have it at home still? I mean,
Yeah,
I would.
yeah.
Is
I've
it in
seen
a
a
case
million
or something? It
times.
needs to
No,
be
it's
mounted.
just in his, no, it's just in his jewelry.
Yeah, no, I looked at it yesterday, day before yesterday I was looking at it. But anyway, so the thing that was so impressive that to me, and it's one of the reasons that I got saved, that I became a born again Christian. The first bomb hits, it's a personnel rocket. It takes me out, it blows me from the left-hand side of my hooch, that's what we call it in our living quarters, and it blew me to the right side. And right about then, I'm angry. And I don't mean this to be offensive, what I'm gonna say, it's just what I
I'll say
said
it
then. I said, I'm gonna kill me some
Mhm.
G's,
Yeah.
some goats. Anyway, I grabbed my weapon off the wall, and I'm bleeding like a stuffed pig right now, because I'm all cut up. I grabbed my weapon, I crawled up to the front where we used to clean our weapons, and all the cleaning fluid is there. And all of a sudden, another personnel rocket hits that place where we got the cleaning fluid. And it blows me up, and it blows everybody, and those things
Oh, man.
blew me all the way to the back of the hooch.
You were the only
And
one
I
in
was-
there though, right? So they
Yeah.
have, I want them to get a visual. So first thing I
I'm
want
the
to
only
ask
one in
you,
there.
so he's the only one in there, and then when he got blown from one side to the other, how many feet? So I want these,
Yeah,
the
that's what
audience to understand what kind of.
Feet
what kind
wise,
of-
what's
what
the
hit
Our
you
hooch,
took.
our hooch was 20 feet long,
Okay,
and we housed like 10 guys in there, or maybe 15, 7 on each side, whatever it was, I don't remember that. But it blew me from where the front entrance was all the way to the back entrance.
so 20 feet, folks, 20 feet. You got
20
blown
feet
up.
or
Yep.
more?
And you have to remember too, that the killing radius of a personnel rocket is 5-yard radius.
Which is 15 feet. So you
So
should
if
have
you're
done been
within,
killed.
if you're within the killing radius of a personnel rocket, when it goes off, the percussion is what kills you. It may not be the lead, it may not be the
The boom,
shrapnel,
the
it's the percussion. Because what it does is it perforates your eyeballs, your ears, your throat, anything with mucous membranes, your internal
oh my
organs.
gosh.
So you don't necessarily
I didn't know that.
get
I didn't
killed
either.
from the shrapnel. You can get killed from all of that stuff. And one of the reasons I have so many of my discs on my back is because that's one of the things that destroy it. So anyway, I'm laying in the back of the hooch. 2 seconds ago, 20 seconds ago, I'm ready to kill. Now I'm laying at the back of the hooch and I'm saying, God, come and get me because nobody can live through this. And I was anything but a religious person.
Man.
I used to swear so much I had to make up swears to make up for the swears I didn't know. So I mean, I had a real foul mouth in that regard. But I closed my eyes. I went unconscious.
You were ready.
And in that state of unconsciousness, there were 2 people, and they were angels.
Entities?
I know they were. No, they were angels.
Okay.
There were 2 angels, and they were fighting over me. Little did I know, after I got saved many, many years ago, Moses had the same thing happen. Same exact thing.
Where? Well, first, because
It's in Exodus someplace. I don't
okay.
remember.
Well, we'll
but-
get back to that because that's important too. Go ahead.
Well, I don't remember where it is, so let's not get into that. But anyway, somebody out there in the TV.
Somebody
man
will
can
look
look
it
it
up.
up.
love him.
Now.
But anyway, so they're fighting over me. This guy dressed in white and a guy dressed in black. I mean, I can remember it like it was yesterday. 2 angels fighting over me. And I don't know how long it was. It couldn't have been long because I was bleeding pretty bad. If it was more than 15 or 20 seconds, I think I would have bled out.
Mhm.
So it couldn't have been a long period of time. But when I woke up, I was paralyzed in both legs when I went unconscious. When I woke up, I was using my knees. Later on, way down the road, when I was back at Fort Devens, I was paralyzed from my waist down. I couldn't move anything. But anyway, these 2 angels are fighting on me. I wake up and I got more strength than I can even believe. I crawl down the stairs. I go into the hooch. I mean, the little bunker where my drill sergeant was. He had just gotten back from R&R. And I knocked on the door. He says, "Who is it?" I said, "It's me, Santos." He says, "Who's that?" I said, "It's me, Martelli." And he asked me some questions about ball games and stuff, so he knew it was really me. He let me in. He put my feet up on his box that you put your equipment in and stuff like that. And I'm bleeding all over that stuff. And I'm dying.
You're right.
And I know I'm dying because I'm bleeding out. Some guy from Oklahoma knocks on the hooch door. Big guy. Never saw him before. And I've been in this barracks, if you want to call it that, for 2 months. And I never saw him before, never saw him again. Is anybody hurt in here? Santos says, he's dying. You got to get him out. And I don't remember if those are the exact words, but he said something to that effect. The guy picks me up like I'm a little baby lamb.
That's the angel part, no doubt in my
And
mind.
he runs me through the hooch that had the rocket hit that blew up into my hooch was on fire. And he's carrying me through the fire between the bunks. And I'm
Wow.
looking down, and the boards that were that wide were burnt out, so they were only about that wide. And I'm saying to myself, we should be falling through these floorboards. So anyway, he gets me through the hooch that's burning, that's on fire, and he puts me on top of a Jeep, and they run me down to the aid station. I don't know what they called it other than aid station. And the mosquitoes don't have to bite you, they're just drinking the blood. And there's a lot of guys wounded, you know. I think we had 2 killed and 44 wounded, something
Oh
to that
man,
effect.
oh man, oh man.
But the doctor looks at me, and he says, he's not going to make it, don't work on him. Work on him. And the guy that he said don't work on was me. Because I was there was flesh on me hanging out everywhere. I got shrapnel wounds galore all over my body. I got them in my nose, my scalp was hanging in my ear. So I looked up at the doctor
Wow.
and I says, you ain't burying this thick-headed Italian over here. Well, with that, they started working on me. They put me in a helicopter. They flew me up to Saigon. They gave me 2 Purple Hearts. I got 3, but I don't know what one of them was for.
I thought you had 4 actually, didn't one your eardrum?
It was 3. One of them must have been a clerical error, because I don't even remember getting wounded.
Well, did give me about 30 clerical errors and send those my way. Those are worth some money now.
Yeah, they are. In fact, those, just a
crazy.
side note, the Purple Hearts that we have now, they're part of the 2 million that they had because they were going to invade Japan, and they figured there would be about 2 million casualties.
Oh, wow.
So they made 2 million Purple Hearts, or 2,000, some casualties, some people getting wounded,
Yeah.
that type of thing. So anyway, I'm laying in the hospital. They just got through working on me. I'm in intensive care. And all of a sudden, there's this lady standing beside me. She looks like a nurse. She talks like a nurse. And she says, hey, soldier, what happened? I don't know about anybody else, but when I get hurt or that severe, all I want to do is spill my guts. So I'm talking to her. I have no clue how much time goes by, but it was a little bit of time. Could have been 5, maybe 10 minutes. Could have been a half an hour. I don't remember. All I remember is I'm telling her how I got wounded. And all of a sudden I look down and she's got her hand in my crotch. And I said to myself, this is a sick puppy. I'm saying, there's something wrong with this chick. All of a sudden, the doctor comes bursting through the doors, throws the blankets off of me, and there's blood everywhere. Everywhere.
She saved his life.
Yeah.
She had her finger on an artery in my crotch.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be gross using the word crotch, but that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's
that's
what it is.
no.
Now-
I get it.
I got slices on the inside of my legs, starting at the crotch, on both of my legs, going all the way down my legs.
Yeah.
Is that
And
where
I
they
got
got
him
the
on the
word,
outside.
the term crotch rocket from?
If it wasn't me.
Thanks, Brian.
1 point for
That was
that.
really dumb. Where did that come from?
No, I was just
But
thinking
anyway,
about motorcycles.
so I didn't see her again. I saw her that one time. She appeared out of nowhere.
Right.
Angels.
Never saw her again. And I asked for her because I figured I owed her.
And were they like when
Never
you
saw
asked
her
for it?
again.
Like
She was
we're
definitely-
not sure who you're talking about. You know, we
It was an angel.
yeah.
But did,
when
you
you're
asked-
asking,
When you were asking the other people, hey,
They
where's so...
said,
they're like, well, we don't know who you.
I
What?
don't know what you're talking.
Yeah.
You, the doctor,
Yeah.
talked to him again.
Yeah.
Full-bird colonel came in, pinned another Purple Heart on my pillow, which I didn't even know about. But anyway, so angels have been an integral part of my life.
Everybody's life, I
We
think.
saw an angel.
Yeah.
My house was.
Well, I was
burning
just
down.
about to bring that up. You talking about the guy's got 9 lives.
See, I'm
man,
shaking
right?
from all this already. I've never
So-
gotten over it, actually.
Well, I mean, I don't know how you can,
So
but that's
his-
an amazing story.
I almost cry every time I talk about the
You can
angels
tell.
saved my
You can
life.
already tell the emotion in it.
Back in 2017, I want to say, or 18 or 16, I don't know. His house catch. I'm over eating dinner. Everybody's out of town. My sister, my brother-in-law, my brother. So
Yeah.
my wife and I go over. We go visit my family, and you know, my dad and I, we're so much alike. I mean, we're best friends, but we also fight a lot because we're so. I mean, we're very similar in a lot of ways. So we it was like a Thanksgiving or something, and we started fussing. I'm like, it was late. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm just gonna go home. I'll call him tomorrow, and we'll talk about it, whatever. I get home, and I get a phone call. The house is on fire, Dave. Everything's going down. They live in the middle of nowhere.
I know what you're talking about.
Nowhere.
It's
And
40 miles from where
I'm
we live
crying.
to-
I'm like, oh, just let my parents be okay. I'm going 9,000 miles an hour on
remember
W
this.
on 29 trying to get there. Almost, wrecked myself, but get there. I'm gonna let you tell a story, Dad, because you're the one that did it. But listen how smart this guy is. Talking about thinking fast on your feet.
Incredible.
There's no way to save the house. The house is fully involved. But Dad, I'm gonna let you take the story.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Well, I don't have my braces on, which, if anybody knows about anybody who wears leg braces from Vietnam, your feet are real tender and you're real sensitive. And we got this little pull down thing from the attic.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to go up there. My wife is looking for fire extinguishers. And I'm going to tell you, my daughter, she's one of my angels. She had enough foresight to say, you guys need fire extinguishers. I didn't think of that. She did. And she bought 4 or 5 of them. And she put them everywhere in the house. But she never told us where she put them.
Hey, it's a fire extinguisher. Don't know what to put on.
The emotions there.
Marcia happens to remember where she put them, 1 or 2 of them. So she runs down, she brings up the fire extinguisher to me. I'm going up this stupid little ladder to
Yeah,
get
I
up into the attic. And the stairs are like this wide and about that long. And I'm going, oh, does this ever-loving hurt? So, but anyway, I made my way up to where the fire was, and you could see intermittent flashes of flame, and the smoke was just
Let me
coming
add this,
down on
Dad, so
top
the
of my
audience
head.
knows where you're going with this. So they have a 3-story house, and the 3rd story is fully involved structure fire.
That's
Fully involved in firefighting's terms. I was a firefighter for years, and what we call fully involved in is something, there's flames and it's fully burning.
Yeah.
Not smoke, not trickling, trying to find it. Fully involved, and all he could see was just the glow of the flames and pitch dark. Standing on stairs with no braces.
With
Go ahead,
his
Dad.
no
I'm
braces.
just trying to paint a picture.
Oh, and
for
if y'all
everybody.
know the pull down stairs that go
Yes.
to the attic, they
Real rickety.
They're
Super rickety.
the worst stairs.
So I got the fire extinguisher in my hand. I get as close to the fire as I can, and it's really, I can remember how hot it was. And I was shielding my face like this so it wouldn't burn, and I got as close to the fire as I could. I just aimed the fire extinguisher at it, and I just emptied it in that general direction, and the fire got worse. I literally saw everything start to get worse.
Just got worse.
My mom goes downstairs and she finds another extinguisher. She happened to stumble on it or something. Maybe she can tell the story better than I can. She says, here's another one. I'm going, I gotta go back up here. So I go back up the ladder, and now you can't get close to the fire. I said, the heck with this. I took a deep breath because the smoke was down to here on my
My
chest.
goodness gracious.
I bent down, I took a deep breath, and I held my breath, and I emptied the second one.
Tell them where you emptied it at. Listen how brilliant this is, folks. Remember, the first one did nothing at all.
And he said it made it
Yes.
worse.
So he aims it to seal. Well, I'll let you tell him, Dad. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I just, you're supposed to aim under the fire to get to the flames where the source of the flame is.
Right.
So I just kind of aimed it in that general direction. But I can't hold, I'm so uptight, so nervous. Holding your breath is like,
Take one good whiff of that, you're done, man.
Yeah.
so I mean, a breath that would normally last you a minute and a half was lasting me like 15 seconds.
Yeah, because the
It's a good-
adrenaline.
yeah,
Got
It's a
adrenaline.
good thing that fire extinguisher emptied fast, because I wasn't leaving till that sucker was empty. So now there's 2 extinguishers on the floor of the attic, and I go downstairs and I say, "Hun, let's just go outside and watch it burn down." She already called 911 in the
So
ladder company, whoever.
That was Engine 6. That was my old group was.
So
we went out-
firefighters are on the way. Yeah.
We went out back where the pool is, and we looked up, and the flames were coming through the roof.
After you already emptied too.
Yep. Flames are coming through the roof. We went around front, we're waiting for you, we're waiting for whoever we call. Fire company gets there. It only took 150 gallons to put the fire out. Normally it takes thousands
Yeah.
in a totally engulfed thing. But Mom and I noticed something when we were up in the top side of the field, that the fire wasn't coming through the roof anymore. And by then you were there.
So
And Mom says to David, "Come here." And David goes over and he says, "What?" She says, "Look around, what do you see?" David looked like that and he says,
I remember.
"Mom, that's an angel in the tree."
Yeah.
So David took a snapshot of it. I don't know
Yeah.
where that snapshot is. I
Did you
never saw
capture it?
Yeah, we have it on the tape. Like there was
thought I
there was
saw
all
that.
the power had been cut off. All the power had been
Oh,
cut off.
yeah.
The firefighters there.
Martelli.
There, I think it's on one of the episodes of B. Martelli.
It is.
But the power was completely off, Brian. We were upstairs, and I'm gonna give you my take as a firefighter in a second. But so go upstairs and I look out the window and there's this light. It's a light of somebody bent over on a knee with his hands. You know the picture that everybody sees.
Aye.
The hands are closed and you see somebody in a praying position. We're like, no, there's no way. There's no way. There's no power on. There's no lights coming from anywhere. We're instructed, do not turn this power back on, which is the number one thing you're told after somebody leaves the house. But I want to add 2 things. Dad, talking about holding your breath to shoot that. I remember when I first got involved into firefighting, we'd go through training and we would do real training. Well, one time, my very first fire, I'll never forget it. A bottle, it's like a scuba tank, supposed to last you like 30, 35 minutes. It lasted me 7 minutes. Because that adrenaline, being able to hold
Pumping
your
in
breath,
more.
to be able to do be able to hold your breath long enough to shoot that and not inhale it, that's a miracle in and of itself, number one. And number 2, ladies and gentlemen, for you that weren't there, the fire was so intensely hot. The next day, we were all up in the roof looking at the fire extinguishers, and they both had melted. You couldn't even read the gauge on them anymore. So obviously, when he was done fire, he probably threw them in there. But I personally think when you sprayed the roof, Dad, the ceiling, that retardant held the fire off long enough and slowed it down long enough to get the fire department there to do what they were able to do.
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm 100% sure of that.
Where the
But I
angel
wasn't
went,
there.
where the angel went.
That was the other thing.
Pull it
So
out.
I think there was multiple things going on. I think one, you got supernatural ability to be able to do it without your shoes not being on, and putting the flame retardant material on there, hold it off, or you had either
Yeah.
an angel helping you or supernatural help helping your actual physical body.
Yeah,
So
I
that's my take.
believe that.
We don't call him Superman in this office for nothing.
9 lives. He could tell you about a spring that hit him in the head. It should have killed him. The guy should have died
He's like a
many
cat.
times. Yeah, literally.
You know what that means? I'm dumb. I get myself into things I shouldn't be getting myself into.
Well, I am also going to add this. Many people out there, I don't know
what a
what
fascinating-
I don't know what
fascinating.
faith many of you are out there, or quote unquote what we call religion. But I do know my dad spent the first after Vietnam. He got saved. He spent the first 2 decades out there soul winning and bringing people to Christ. So I think God kept him around for a reason. That's what
Yeah.
I think. I mean, without that, you know what I mean? There's
No doubt.
how many people were brought to the kingdom just because of a testimony or a witness or just letting you
If that's
know?
not if that's not powerful enough, I mean, I really just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean I was hanging on by every word that you were saying. I was getting closer and closer.
I've heard it
to
a million times, and I still get into it
And
every single time.
it's fascinating. It's fascinating. That's why we could have him on every episode
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not run out of any
Well,
material.
I'm sure that we will. I mean, I know for a fact that we'll want to bring
All right.
back. So,
Speaking of angels.
Yes.
It's hard to speak of angels without Sheila Hillwig's question. She wants to know about the new little lady of the house. And I've got to bring up an angel.
Yeah.
Rex.
yeah. So let's talk about
So
Rex.
we
Dad.
knew about what happened a few months back, and it was a tragic thing. And I don't know if you want to go over that or not, but
Well, you cover what you want to cover. How
Yeah,
about that?
how
With
about that?
Rex, and then talk about Lady. Everybody's fascinated with
Rex
the dog,
needs
so.
to have an honorable mention in here for sure.
Absolutely.
Rex.
What a great dog.
Rex probably saved
that
his
was
life.
yeah.
Well, Dad's going to tell you how his dog saved his life.
Rex is Rex and I were buddies,
I'm gonna put some
and
bricks in.
how I got him
There you go.
was
Watch the screen when you keep talking though.
Yeah.
Watch.
anyway. Rex was my buddy. We went everywhere together. It's kind of a cute story how I got him. Yeah, that makes me cry. My buddy. Oh, do I miss him?
What a great dog. That dog was in the office every day, y'all.
And smart, was he smart?
So well behaved.
But anyway, boy, could he catch a frisbee.
He could.
When you see this next one, he'll throw that sucker. I'll throw it out there 35, 40 yards, you don't get it.
Oh man.
But anyway,
Lord have mercy.
throwing that frisbee right there was a big mistake. See how far out it goes.
Yeah.
I was throwing frisbees with him out there one day, and he never goes in the road for any reason. But there happened to be a dog on the other side of the
Oh
road.
no.
And we were sitting there, and I turned my back on him, and I was walking towards the door, and I said, Rex, come. And usually he runs right up behind me, goes in the door. All of a sudden, I turned around. When he didn't come, I looked. And last thing I saw was his tail going across the road. And bam, I heard him get hit.
Mm.
I ran across the road. By then, everybody hears me screaming, Rex, don't go. And he's laying on the side of the road, and he's crying. I put his head in my hands. I put his tongue back in his mouth because it was on the ground. I looked him in the eye, and I said, Rex, don't leave me. And he died. Well, anyway, little did I know I had AFib for 3 weeks before that. And because of the trauma that created in my life, Rex saved my life because I ended up a couple of
Getting
days
yourself
later
checked
going
out.
to the hospital thinking I had COVID and I had AFib, and it's been just nothing but doctor visits and everything since.
So that's
But he saved my life.
that's what Rex gave to you at the end right there. I mean, that's hard to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, that was a tough one to watch, even as you know, you never.
I've never seen
Yeah,
I
this
cried-
man right
I
here.
cried for
he
days.
still does. And that, I mean, you think it's just a dog. No, it's not just a dog. And many of you out there watching, you know.
You know how that is.
You have, they become like family, man. And it's, you know, you spend that much time with them, and they were never apart.
No.
You know,
Do you have that picture of Rex in the truck with me? Not with me, but
on your phone.
Oh yeah, on the phone. We should have
Yeah.
it
Or
pulled,
you unlock
right?
it down, and I'll show. For everybody that didn't see Rex, I'll show you a picture of him, and then talk. Let's end it on a little bit happier note. Talk a little bit about Lady.
I heard there's a new lady in your life.
There is a new lady.
But look at that. I'll show it to him.
So
that's my Rex. That was my baby.
There we go.
And just so you know, I don't think my dad's been in my life my entire life, and I've never seen him get love. He loves animals. He's soft like I am, but look how beautiful he is. Such a good-looking dog.
That's
A
all,
dog.
baby.
That's it.
But yeah, this is just a different bond that I've never seen him have with an animal. Period.
That dog right there is the reason why you're still
Yeah,
around.
no, without a doubt.
You got any pictures of the new lady? Because I
Without
know
a
all
doubt.
the ladies love to see the new
Oh.
lady.
All right. So we're going to show Lady, and then we need to move along because we have
Take a
a
little
new
break.
invention that we want to show everybody and talk about, which is the bobbin winder. And this is what everybody's been waiting for. This is good for domestic machines, long arms, and the whole nine.
Right.
But we're going to get right into that after
Here's Lady.
we can show you a picture of Lady.
You ready right here?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
She weighed
No,
4
you're good.
pounds.
Let me get on you.
If that smile doesn't say
Oh, yeah.
show you everything right there,
Lady was 4 pounds in that picture. We got her when she was 8 weeks old. She's 12 weeks old now, and she weighs 20 pounds. She is huge. She is absolutely
You look like
huge.
Look
Super
at that.
Mario
Look-
or Luigi.
Look at
He looks
that
like Super
smile.
Mario.
I mean, I hated that picture.
I think
That
it's awesome.
smile is
That's
awesome.
perfect.
Can't even see the dog.
I know, that's a perfect
let me tell
one.
you, the dog, lady comes into the office up here at the storefront all the time, and
She
at
thinks she
both
owns
sides,
it.
both the W Street too. And let me tell you, production stops.
Yeah.
I promise you, because you can't help but to love the life that's in that dog.
Oh, man.
And she's got this big black
Person.
face like Rex. She's a brown and black.
Yeah.
Rex was a tan and black, and he was a silverback. But,
Yeah.
she's a She's a
She
live
gives
wire.
y'all. It's a
She
live
slept
wire.
through the night for the first time
All
last
right.
night.
Stuck
Hey,
out.
speaking of live wires, Diana Bullington wants to know about any new inventions that might be around. What are you hiding in front of you?
Oh,
I ain't telling you.
All right.
so we're gonna segue right in. Well, you know what? Let's just roll through it. How about that? We all good? We're
Yeah,
good.
hold on. Before we
mind
do that last no, let's do the invention first. Can we can probably do it in 15 minutes.
We've got we got a surprise for you.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
me?
Oh yeah.
Oh
We-
yeah.
That's
if we
too bad. That could just gonna take up no
Hey,
senseless
Dad,
time.
take it away. Take it away. The bobbin winder. Show them the bobbin winder. Show them what it's used for. Show them where you're at.
Okay.
Show 'em how long
I
till it's
think
come
we
out.
need-
And then we have a
I
surprise.
think we need to put this over there.
We do. Show it to them real here, quick
Okay.
here, and unveil it, and we'll take it over there.
Go ahead and then.
There we are. And let me
This
get
is
close
the
up.
new bobbin winder right here. You're gonna love this, ladies. You're gonna absolutely love this.
Very good.
So this is going to be a new bobbin winder. I know a little bit enough to be dangerous on this. It's all about tension. I'll tell you that. So
Yep.
Relieving
This,
tension?
do you want me to take it over there?
Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Do you wanna do a quick?
let's do it. How about this? This we gave you a sneak peek. We'll quick.
2 minutes.
2 minute. Let's do a 2 minute quick break. Obviously, we'll come back in about 2 minutes. We'll have it set up for you. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back on Talking Martelli.
With the new Martelli Bobbin winder.
That's
Are you
right.
kidding me?
You're gonna love it. I love it. I usually don't like the things I invent, but I love this.
We're We'll move that body armor out of the way.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to take just a few seconds and we are going to talk about the new bobbin winder. But before we get right into it and before I hand this over to Dad, I want to mention something. People are constantly talking about tension issues, and one of the problems that you have when you're winding bobbins, and they say, and it's a marketing gimmick, hey, make sure you use the same machine that you're using to wind your bobbin so the tension's right. Well, that has nothing to do with anything. The problem is being able to put the exact amount of tension on something. You cannot do it with a single motor. So what my dad developed was two motors working against each other, being able to be programmed to put any tension you want on any machine in the world you want, including domestic machines. So Dad's going to talk about this, and you have to stay with him. His brain, and one of the things that I'm charged with in this company is being able to take what's in my dad's brain and put it in layman's terms. So if you can't stay with him and you need to ask questions, please do so. I'm going to try to moderate the questions. But he'll give you a lot of valuable information. And Brian's there with him too, so I'll give Brian the questions if you have any. But take it away, Dad.
All right. Now, the thing that so frustrates women is the fact that when they stitch, as they're stitching, maybe an hour later or 2 hours later or a little bit later, the stitches start to change on them.
And why is that? Because it's loosening
Well,
tension?
no, what they got, the problem that they have is there's a spring in the tensioner. And what it does, it's a friction tension.
Okay.
You have two little discs that do this. You ladies know what I'm talking about. You turn a little knob and it puts the tension on the thread so that when you stitch. Well, what I did was we took that concept and we brought it over here. And when you wind your bobbins, most ladies will tell you that they can wind the bobbin in like 10 or 20 seconds or 15 seconds. And they end up with a big ball in the middle, or a ball on this side, or a ball on that side.
It's never even,
And
not
it's
fluid
always-
like that.
It's always crisscrossing. And the tension that they put on the bobbin, they do it with a little thread tensioner. And you
Okay.
have to stay right there and watch it, because when it's done, usually the spools keep spinning. So anyway, let me get down to the nuts and bolts of it. We have 3 motors here on this bobbin winder. You have the one that turns the bobbin. You have this one right here, and I'll lift it up so that you can see it. We have this one right here, this little guy. This guy right here is connected to a great big screw that's right in here. This screw takes this whole cream-colored unit from here down to here where these ball bearings are. Can you see that right there, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
So this, from here to here, is one piece. And this little screw that's on this motor moves this whole unit back and forth, back and forth. And the reason that I designed it that way is so that when you put the thread on the bobbin, it doesn't crisscross.
It doesn't do that, what you were
Yeah.
talking about earlier.
See right up here how this is all crisscrossed?
That's correct.
You can only get so much thread on when you crisscross stuff, because the thread goes this way. I designed this thing so that the thread would be parallel. And when it went down, you could actually determine how many laps or how many layers of thread you want to put on. So if you, let's say you're going to do a small hanging quilt and you don't want a lot of your precious thread on a bobbin.
Right.
So rather than put too much on, you can actually program this thing.
And it's all digital.
The whole thing's digital. All 3 of these motors work in concert.
That's crazy. And there's a fan in it too, right?
Yeah, we got the fan under here.
Right.
Yeah, we have there's an Arduino board under here that has to be cooled.
So
And
it's a
that's sitting
cooling
under here
fan,
so
and
you
that's
can't see
for
it.
the benefit of
Right
it
here,
never
there's a
overheating.
fan. Yeah, there's a fan here that keeps that from overheating. Then under here there's another power supply that keeps the motors at 24 volts or whatever we got it set at.
Brian, would you turn it toward me so I can see the LCD
Yeah,
screen
absolutely.
a little bit? I just want them to see that screen.
Yeah, there we go. Actually, if you want to keep it that way, you can
Dad, up
touch
until now, was there ever such thing as perfect tension until
No.
now?
it. No.
Okay.
When you had a thread tensioner, it was all guesswork.
Mhm.
What I did was, I took this motor right here with the bobbin on it, and I made it fight this motor. This is a digital motor. They're all digital. But this motor right here is a DC digital motor, and the beauty of that is, as it turns, this motor turns this way. This motor turns this way. This motor is fighting against this one. But this motor is more powerful than this one because we set the strength of this digital motor on this digital screen. So that when this motor is turning over here, it's pulling here. And you predetermine how much tension you want.
Wow.
You set it and forget it. You will never have to pre-program it.
That may have to be the line.
And if you wanted to, you could If you wanted a little less thread on there, you could make it a little looser, you can make it a little tighter, but you can all program the whole thing through here.
So a little bit tighter, the thread's going to pull on it just a little bit longer, a little bit tighter, so it's going to, you'll get a little bit more thread around it because it is got the little bit tighter on there for sure.
And speaking of how much thread you put on, because it lays the thread down parallel to each layer is parallel, you get almost 20% more thread, roughly 20% more thread on your bobbin.
Wow.
Now,
I
the
think
beauty
everybody
of
would want that.
is when you do a queen size quilt,
Mhm.
you're talking like 20 bobbins maybe. So 20% of that is 2 bobbins. That's 2 bobbins less you have to change. It might even be more than that.
Maybe more
actually,
than
too.
that, actually.
3.
But I know it's.
But
at
that's
least
2.5, 3
Yeah.
that you
less
don't
that you have to
change.
deal with.
So
Yeah,
you don't
absolutely.
have to stop your machine, get underneath your long arm and pop that thing out
That's
of there
right.
and pop a new one in. And then the other thing that's so great about it is there's a little nose thing right in here.
Well, here,
lift
I'll
that
get-
end up, lift it up like that, just like that.
Yep.
There's this little thing right here, and it goes up and down inside of this little chamber.
You showed me that earlier.
Yeah.
It just moves up
So
and down.
in other words, what I've done is I've taken every variable that changes your tension, I've taken it away. It's not there anymore. So that, you can go ahead and set that.
So
back
anything
down.
that would change it
Can I,
has been addressed.
Right.
can I bring this up real quick, Dad? So this is something, we talked about doing this on your domestic machine as well, right? We talked about doing this on your domestic machine.
Yeah.
Will this eventually, I know we're doing it for the long arms right now, will this eventually be able to adapt on every single domestic machine on the market? Well,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
say 99.9%
Well,
of them.
no, it'll be for every machine.
Okay, will be
There-
100%.
there's
So-
there won't be an exception, because what I did is I took this motor right here. Forget about this part over here. I took the motor right here, and when your sewing machine is stitching, if you ever noticed it before, you'll see a little slop in the thread as it's stitching. There's some slop in there. Well, that causes a lot of problems. So what they do is they've got that same tensioner on their sewing machine. It's 2 little discs, and you screw it in, and a spring pushes against it. And once again, you change the temperature in the room by just a few degrees, and that spring just
Adjusts
it either
to-
tightens or it loosens, depending whether it's hot or cold. This
Just on that little spring can
Yep.
change a little bit, just on 72 degrees to 70.
Yep.
That's how they used to do the old, think about this. So your thermostat in your house.
Yeah.
Do you know what that was based off? A spring.
Are you kidding me?
That's how sensitive they are.
Fun fact.
Yeah. So you eliminate, this thing eliminates the spring.
Yep.
You're gonna have, we have this mounted on a stand. This little part right here, this motor is mounted on a stand. The digital keyboard here is mounted above it facing you.
Okay.
Then the power pack and everything else that needs to run it is under it.
Under it.
So you put it beside your sewing machine, you run your thread. The only thing you use the old tensioner for is just a guide.
That's a guide.
You take the discs off, or you leave them there, you make it just as loose as you can. You run the thread through the tensioner as a guide only.
As a guide only.
And then you run it into your sewing machine.
And you're
And then this thing runs backwards. Your sewing machine is pulling the thread towards the sewing machine, but this motor is pulling it away from the sewing machine, which creates the tension that you desire in your sewing machine.
which you
So-
can set yourself.
Yep.
You create your own pull.
Yep, you create that.
That's
that-
why there's now perfect tension. Dad, I hate to interrupt you, but Amy Zellers asked a question. She said, I wonder why we don't have bobbinless machines yet. It has to be possible to use spools. I know the answer, but I'm gonna let Dad do this because he worked on it. This was something that we worked on years ago, so do you want to just take 2 seconds and just
Yeah.
tell them why?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you notice when you change your bobbin out that the bobbin is in a bobbin case? And that bobbin case is very smooth, and the little finger you use to pull it out with, that's all one nice smooth case. Well, the bobbin case is sitting inside of a hook. And you
Right.
ladies know what the hook is. And what has to happen to make a stitch, the needle has to come down into the hook goes between the needle and the thread, and it makes a stitch. Well, when that hook goes around the bobbin case, it goes completely around it. It doesn't just go across the front, it goes across the back.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't bring thread into that bobbin any other way.
Any other way.
And believe me when I tell you, I tried.
Yes.
Yes.
You
And if
can't bring it-
anybody
It's
would have
mathematically
figured it out.
It's mathematically impossible, is how my dad explained it to me. Mathematically impossible.
You can, what will happen is no matter what, if you don't bring it in from the bobbin, in the bobbin case that gets surrounded, you get one stitch.
Yep.
Then the next stitch breaks with the needle.
So-
So it's totally impossible. You have to have a bobbin. And that's why you have an L and M bobbin. The M bobbin's going a long arm sewing machine. The L bobbin's going usually a home depth.
Which I found out last week on the Fabric Live.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm not sure if we're covering everything yet because we're going all over the place.
Sorry about
but-
that.
But anyway, on that home deck machine, what's really cool about this thing is this motor takes that little bit of slop that's in the needle as it goes up and down. That slop is gone.
And erases the slop that
Yeah.
any machine will put
Yeah.
out. And every machine's going to have a different slop, so to
Yeah.
speak.
So this motor going in the opposite direction, it's not strong enough to pull the thread out of the needle. Because you set the tension
You set
over
your own
here.
tension, and it's all digital over there.
So the needle takes the place of the bobbin.
Mm-hmm.
The needle pulls against this motor, and that's how you get your tension. We've already tested that on the long arm the new long arm we're coming out with.
Oh yeah.
And what a dream!
It's
Oh, the stitches are their stitches
And
are.
you've already done 1,000,000
incredible.
stitches on that thing. It's
You know?
crazy.
And it's been like what, Dave? 4 years in the making.
Oh man, longer than that.
Everybody's
Oh,
sick of it.
Lord.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I hate to
But,
cut you guys short. We're getting towards the end of the session, and we need to take just a quick minute. Dad, we're going to test you. This is going to be something fun that I want to include everybody on. So I was kind of thinking, what can we do fun, include the audience? So, Dad, you didn't even know this. I'm putting you on the spot.
Uh-oh. Okay.
We're going to do some riddles. We're going to see who's smarter. We're going to see if the old man
Between-
is smarter. We're going to see if Brian doesn't know this either. Brian's smarter or the audience. So we're going to do a couple quick riddles, and then we're going to
Great.
try to go over the sponsorship for the show, what we're doing to sponsor the show and our website and all that. Okay, Dad, you ready? Riddle number 1. I speak, and please, I'm watching everybody in the comment section, so if you have an answer,
We'll
please
do
let
riddle
me know.
one and one. We'll think about it, but we'll run the machine while we think about
Okay,
it.
ready? I speak with no mouth. I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?
Sail.
No, that was actually a pretty good guess,
Wait a
but
minute,
no,
that was-
a really good
Say
guess.
it again.
I speak with no mouth. I hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind.
Chimes. Wind chimes.
Nope. Any guesses in the
That's
audience?
a pretty good one.
That was pretty
I was
good.
going to say flatulence.
That's close. Hey, you're on the same page. The flatulence can do this. You're on the same page.
Oh my goodness.
Sound.
What kind of guy?
Close.
Speak.
Close.
Lips.
Echo. Maggie Tucker. Congratulations, Miss Maggie Tucker.
I thought it had to be I thought it had to be sound.
No,
I just
she
Googled it.
Knew the answer.
She Googled it. No,
I'm
we're
gonna
just kidding.
I'm going to stick with my original flatulence answer.
Number 2.
What you know.
Number 2. All right. You measure my life in hours, and I serve you by expiring. I'm quick when I'm thin, and I'm slow when I am fat. The wind is my enemy. One more time.
Steak.
Nope. You measure my life in
That's
hours,
a good one.
and I serve you by expiring. I'm quick when I'm thin, and I'm slow when I'm fat. And the wind is my enemy.
What Dave said is
Quick, Jimmy. Google that.
Avocados.
Dave said girlfriend.
For Jimmy,
What?
that's true.
Oh
By
man.
the way, ladies, Jimmy's available.
Elaine Costello.
Almost expired.
Elaine Costello said a fart. No, Miss Elaine, it's not a fart.
It's not flatulence.
It's not flatulence. All right.
Miles per
Well, if you didn't Google it, Miss Maggie Tucker, that was a great job. That was awesome. Great
What did she
answer.
do?
She's the one that got echo.
Oh.
All right, one more time, and I'm going to answer it. You measure my life in hours, and I serve you by expiring. I'm quick when I'm thin and slow when I'm fat, and the wind is my enemy. I'll give you a hint. You can buy them at the mall. It gives you light.
Light bulb.
LED.
Nope.
Girlfriend.
Nope. You can see.
Dave, you're screwed up.
Expire. Wait, when it expires, time is an
You
alarm
can
clock.
buy it at the mall. You can
Wristwatch.
see when it's on. It produces more light at night. They used to use it before electricity.
Oh, a candle.
Very good.
Well, see, you didn't say that
Becky-
the first
Becky
time.
Now I'm
McNeil
giving
is-
hints now.
Why
Becky
didn't-
McNeil beat you?
Did she?
Just barely.
Becky McNeil.
Did she get me, Becky?
The photo finish.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'll give it to Becky.
All right, last one, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our sponsorship because we are running close out of time. All right.
We got to run this thing real quick.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna do it
I'm
right
gonna, okay,
now.
Dad, let me finish this one. You're going to run that, and then we're going to close with our sponsorship. Okay. I come from a, no, let's do this one. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains and no trees. I have water, but no fish.
Heaven.
What am I? No. One more time, I'll read it again. I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?
A painting.
Nope.
Haiti.
Close. Now it's close.
What?
The painting. It's on the same lines.
Mural.
A picture.
Closer.
Photograph.
Before Siri. We used it before Siri was around.
Oh, who cares?
Secretary.
Nope. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you got a guess? I know there's a lag, so we're going to give it 30 seconds.
Map.
Got it. Jimmy got it. I'm out.
No, Carla John sensation.
Who was it?
Carla John's
Good job.
Good.
Sensing.
Well, it looks like our audience is way more smarter than us.
They got all
Congratulations.
3 for 3.
They 3 for 3.
I don't
Good
know.
job,
Man,
everybody.
flatulence wins.
Good job, everybody. Okay, so we're going to show you the buy. Hey, thank you for taking part in that. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Hey, by the
We're gonna show
way,
you, yeah.
while that thing was going, this is how quiet this is.
Yeah. So you didn't even hear the bobbin winder going, but we're going to show you the bobbin winder real quick, and then we're going to finish it up with
Look how it's
you can help
It's
promote
oscillating,
Talking Martelli.
basically.
See how this thing's oscillating back and forth, and that little nose, see how it's just been coming up as it puts the thread
That
on?
gives you more. That gives you the bobbin is going to get complete capacity
See how it shut
instead
off?
of. Yep.
I had it set for 30 layers.
Wow. So he can digitally put in 30 layers, or you can put
Yep.
60 layers, however many you want, how much you want to put on it.
Yeah. Let's say you put too much on.
It'll automatic.
Winds
Puts right back
and
on.
unwinds. Let's
Oh,
say,
that's
hey,
right.
Let's say you're
At the
a
same
thread.
tension coming back, so you're not. It's not just flopping
Hey, Brian,
back.
what do you do? Let's say you're out of thread, right? And the only thread you have that matches is on your bobbin.
You rewind it on
You
here.
rewind it. Now you can use thread if you don't have any left. So I
You
learned
have
that
to-
from a genius guy.
This
All right.
thing, this is a prototype.
Yeah.
We're tweaking it as we go, but we would like, if anybody is interested in buying one when they're ready to be purchased.
Yeah.
If you call us and let us know that you're interested.
We'll put
we
you
don't want
on-
any money, we don't want any commitment, but if you're
Interest
interested
list.
in it, we will call you when they're ready.
What did we call it earlier, Mr. John? We said the pre-interest list.
Yep.
Pre-interest list. I like that. All right, so we're going to
Let's
finish
get-
up. Let me talk just for a minute.
We'll come back
I
over
told you
here.
my mom has done an exceptional job doing some importing products. If you've noticed alive today, all throughout today, you'll notice that Brian and my dad both have watches on. When my dad got, I don't want to call it sick, but when Rex got run over, this is how we got these in. My mom was thinking about it, and he's taking his BP every 5 minutes. He's trying to be more, he's trying to pay attention to more how much he's walking,
He's being more health and wellness conscious.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, having to stop and take his BP. Anyways, I posted a link on the Martelli Quilters group with all the features and benefits, but I'm actually shocked. This watch is crazy, crazy good. I wrote all the features and benefits down, but as you can see, Brian's got it. It can sync with an iPhone, so that's really good.
Show it to this camera. See?
Brian, I actually missed. I don't know what I did with all my features and benefits. Hold on, real
It's
quick.
right here.
No, I didn't.
I need your arm again.
Oh, sorry. I mean, if
Brian, talk about it real quick. Let me go find it.
Can I rhyme it with what I think?
Yeah, I mean, what you? Yeah,
If you're thinking about Schmapple,
it's very similar.
it's very, very similar to
Click it back
to
on.
something that called Schmapple.
Okay.
So
Real close to that. but
it
watch
just it does all the features and benefits of what you would get with the traditional. You're just not paying the name cost on that, if you know what I mean. And it's baffling what
I want to read just. I'm
just
just.
found of it. It does. I mean,
It does tons of things.
Is it compatible with Apple
Yes,
and
yes,
Android?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
I
All of the
downloaded
above. Now, listen, Brian and I discussed this. When we started this, we didn't want Venmo. We don't want handouts. But we want this show. We just ask if you like what we're doing here.
That's right.
You know, there's a cost in the production crew. There's a cost in our website. There's a cost on our e-commerce website, which will be up next week or 2 weeks after that. There's a cost associated with this. So what we did is, you know, we're finding products that you're really, really going to love. We do all the beta testing for you, and this is just an awesome way to get an awesome product at half price and support your favorite show, Talking Martelli.
Absolutely.
Now, just to go over, it does heart rate. It does a bright screen, has a flashlight. It has ringtone you can set, Bluetooth camera, which I thought was really cool. It has music. You can find your phone with it. That's my biggest feature because I'm
He
always
needs that
losing stuff.
more than anything. Does the sedentary, it does your blood oxygen, heart rate, blood pressure.
Yep.
It has a sleep monitor, which for me, the cool thing about the sleep monitor, if it catches you snoring, it'll.
Oh, nice. My wife would love that feature.
Yeah.
I was in Dick's Sporting
I've
Goods.
got one already. That's called my wife. She picks me.
I was in Dick's Sporting Goods on Sunday, and this is now my new favorite feature. My iWatch, whatever it is, I don't know if it has it, but if it did, I missed out on this feature, but I know this one has it. QR code. So if you need information, you go in the store, you just hit a button, and it scans
That's right,
the
the
code,
QR.
and it tells you all about the product.
Or
so it's
a
awesome.
restaurant. Think about restaurants are
Yeah.
going to QR books real quick, and they're just going to go ahead and get you the menu on that. or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. You
It's-
can answer, actually, if you're walking around and you don't have your phone on you, you can actually push a button and answer your watch and
That's
talk
right.
like your phone is right next to you.
We'll play your music as well, but it also Bluetooths in, which it's awesome. I've never had one before.
Yeah.
So
This is the first for you.
It's my first for me.
I'm going to put this, and I've only been using it. My dad said he loves it, but I've only been using it a couple of days. But I'm going to put it up there just with my short experience, up there with the ear pods that we just
Yes.
had.
Oh my goodness.
Really good, really good.
They make tying together. I don't even know yet, but that'd be. I guess if you Bluetooth, so maybe you can Bluetooth with an extra device on it because it said it looks for devices.
I'm sure. So if you want this watch, a similar watch, you're going to pay at least $250, $300.
Or
I
more.
know because my $400.
Or
excuse
more.
me. Jimmy just said 400. So
At least.
So there you go.
If
so
you
there
want to
have it.
pay for a so-called name,
Yep.
go be my guest. If you do not want to, and you're going to get exactly the same features and do
What
exactly
did we
the
say
same
we're doing
thing,
the price on?
we're doing it for $100.
$100.
$99.
We've already been the guinea pigs. We've already done the beta testing. Awesome product. So even if you want to get somebody a real expensive
Yeah.
gift without paying the big bucks money, and here's the thing, you're sponsoring a great idea of something
Yep.
that we're trying to do and something we're trying to build. And so Brian and I very, very much appreciate that.
Yep.
So if you want this, all you have to do is call Brian or myself or call the store. In a few weeks, we'll have once we pay for the e-commerce site, we'll have
That's
that
right.
up and you
this
click.
goes towards you being able to click for more
Yes.
different things, more great
Yes.
stuff that we have. It'll be an easier link that you can get hot deals of the.
Yes.
This is what I always like to call it. This is a recommended section right here.
Yes.
This is recommended
And
by
we're-
us, and that's all we can ask you.
Yeah, and we're building this for you. So this is a good way to get an awesome
you love the
product
earbuds,
and help support us.
I
Right.
know what we're talking about.
So Brian, give him your number real quick. I'm going to give him my number, and then we're going to close up.
Anytime, reach out, text or call. Remember, now leave a message if we can't answer because we are busy all day long, but we will answer as much as we can. 850-232-3714 is mine. I'm Brian. And then for David, 850-512-2222. And then our office number, reach out for us there too, 850-542-4440.
And I do want to say this, Dad, thank you so much for coming on. We love you. We appreciate you so much and everything that you mean to this
100%.
company. And just for me, being a father figure, I couldn't have asked for a better father.
That
I'm
was,
truly blessed. I'm truly blessed.
That is a wonderful way to start out the first two episodes. That right there was probably
That was a
heart
home run,
wrenching. That
folks.
was that's what you call knocking out a park.
Yep.
I don't know if for any of you Red Sox fans,
Share
but definitely
this.
White Sox.
Hey, listen, share this. Anybody and everybody would love to hear this story because a lot of people always want to. You can share it on the Martelli Quilters group if you want. This was I don't know how that works, but if you want to share on the Martelli Quilters
Yeah,
group,
I guess
awesome
you can
episode.
Copy the link and share it in.
Copy the link, share it in. There you go. Dad, love you. Thanks for coming on.
Jimmy?
Yep.
Okay, real quick, Darlene Stevens wants to know, are there ones for men and women, or is it sort of a one?
They are
You just-
unisex.
just get the band. I'm sure that they're unisex.
No, the bands are gonna. No, here. The bands are interchangeable.
Yes.
Okay, the bands are completely
wife has 40
interchangeable,
bands
so
for
don't
hers.
worry about that. Yeah, my wife has 50 different bands.
So does my wife.
So,
bunch. And let me show you just real quick, and then we're going to cut off, but I'll show it to you in the box just so you can see how it comes. So it comes with the charger. The charger's right on top. But if you lift this top up right here, there's your charger, okay? The bands come in a bag like this. Let's take this out just real quick. And then the bands, if you give me the watch top,
Look at that.
and it has just the watch top in there.
It's a nice foam in there.
It just
keeps
should come right out,
packed
yeah.
Ooh, that's heavy.
So, yeah, heavy duty. It's a watch, right? And then the bands just
They
themselves,
slide right in.
get a close-up of that, Jimmy, if you would. And then the bands themselves just simply slide in. It's literally
Just
that
like
easy.
you would on any the other ones, so that you can
They
if you've
slide
already
in.
got some that you may have, you know how these work.
And-
They slide in because they have a little node on them, so that they can.
Yep.
There
And so
go.
you slide one in one way, you slide the other one. Let me get the slide in the other one the other way. And the thing that I also love about it is you have the option of, doing multiple bands. If you don't like this band, go get a band that you like. But yeah, we have 50 of them that we can obviously that we can sell. But it comes in a really cool box. It's really nice. You're gonna find that there's nothing cheap about what we do. Not our products that we develop, not our imports.
You put
Nothing
this
we
back.
do is cheap. And then we do, like I said, all the beta testing for you. Did we have any other questions?
That's all I got right now.
We sure do appreciate you. 3:30, right on time. I didn't think we were going to finish this
Well,
one
I
on
didn't
time.
either.
So.
There was a lot to cover on that.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody for joining us once again.
And tell them about the sale on Thursday.
Yeah, don't forget the fabric sale this Thursday from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you're watching out for W Street. They're always having good sales over there, so you're going to want to pay attention to the website over there,
Absolutely.
martellinotions.com. So don't forget about them, and they're always trying to do classes. We love y'all. Dad, thanks one more
Love ya.
time. Appreciate you. We'll see y'all on
Thank
Thursday.
you, Mr. John Martelli. We'll see you soon.